A little story about this wood boat I built. It's a Dumas Deep V boat. Was meant to be for Nitro, and I built it in 1984 when I was 17. I can't forget, I was a senior in high school when I built this thing, and how it started out was the year before. I built a wooden airplane 3 times the size of this warbird, and I didn't like a trainer plane like a Cessna. I had to have a warbird because I always went to the EAA in Wisconsin and I wanted that. Well, I shouldn't have started with it because it was 4-channel ailerons and all that stuff. So with a OS motor, I, on my first flight, took off from a parking lot and it started to roll on me. So I'm busy with the ailerons trying to straighten it out, and it ended up going through a baseball diamond backstop. So the nitro motor, kind of like that, made it through the fence, but the rest of the plane exploded into pieces. Balsa and all that paper that you coat with the polyurethane and stuff, all that, just pieces everywhere. So then I thought, well, planes are not for me. So I looked in my catalog, America's Hobby Center, and I found this boat, and it was rated to a .19 engine. Well, my engine was a OS engine .25, not this exact one. So I thought, that's perfect. It'll be overpowered. So I bought this kit and the metal hardware kit to go with it. And it just comes in a small box, and all this plywood, basically mahogany, is somewhat stamped out. And then you have a big blueprint you lay down, and you arrange it all on that blueprint and glue it together. But you still have to finish cut a lot of this stuff. And it's labeled like a model kit, what number and everything. So then I built this myself just for display. It has the hood scoop for that motor. And it had the nitro motor in there, and then 2 servos back here. One for steering the rudder, and then the other one had a rod going to the motor for throttle. And then it ran pretty good and stuff, and it was really fast. And one time it quit in the middle of the lake, and then a guy with a fishing boat rescued it and brought it back to me. Well, then about 12 years ago or something, I hadn't ran it in a long time. I found a Traxxas Blast on eBay, and I won the auction. So just $40, and I ran the Traxxas Blast, but it was such a small boat, and I didn't really like it. So I just took the Traxxas motor out of it, the Traxxas ESC, the crystal radio, all this stuff, and then made it electric. But with the old-fashioned battery, that kind of the Tamiya style 7.2, it didn't really go real fast. The front end stayed up all the time. It didn't get up on plane. So then now I moved to the Philippines like 6 years ago, retired over here. Well, just a couple months ago, my friend was coming over, and I asked him if he could bring this boat over because it was in storage at my other friend's house. So he snuck it over in his suitcase. Well, then I upgraded it again. I put in a big ESC that can take 3S, and then still the Traxxas motor, still the Traxxas servo, but then a newer radio, so a Dumborc RC, and then I run it on a lipo like this one, 3S. Well, then I'll have a link on this video to my little YouTube shorts that has the run video. It actually gets up on plane and stuff. So I know a lot of guys would say, well, throw a brushless system in there, but it's an old boat. I'm just trying to keep it kind of old school. So that's the story on that, from a crash plane to a boat. And then on Marketplace last year, I found this Kyosho boat, 1988, and it was only $20 US. He was selling it as a display only. There was no radio remote with it and no battery, so just display. So I'm like, oh, I'm buying that. So for $20, I got it, and it was totally complete. It still has the Kyosho Le Mans racing motor in it. Has that mechanical speed control right here that the servo controls the speed, just 3 speeds forward and then 1 reverse. And still has the other vintage servo for steering it. Looks like a Mercruiser outboard. It's pretty cool. So I just put in a modern receiver with the Dumas RC radio, and then I have an adapter, and I ran it on a 2S, and it got 20 some kilometers per hour, so not too bad. I put some styrofoam in the front just in case something would happen. So that's that one. And then here's my latest boat. It's a brushless one. You can run it 3S or 4S atomic, so it's got a brushless water-cooled motor. I keep my little receiver in a bag. So yeah, that's my fastest one. And then why is there a Tamiya buggy here? Well, all the time I buy vintage buggies, there's no driver, it seems, so I 3D print the helmet. I got that off a Thingiverse. Well, this Kyosho boat was missing all 3 helmets, so I just measured how big they were, and I downsized the Tamiya helmet to make those. Well, then when I got this boat, I got the idea it doesn't look real scale, so I took a plastic temporary license plate, and then with its original spoiler, and then I just printed 3 more of those helmets and painted them yellow, and I think it looks a little better. At least it's got drivers on it. Before it never had that, because I didn't even run it with this on it because you want a lot of air getting to your engine and stuff like that. And now I can't even get nitro fuel, so I didn't restore it back as a nitro. There's no hobby shop by me here in the Philippines. Manila is 24-hour drive away, and they don't ship the fuel anymore. A couple times I was able to get it on a local website, but then a couple other times they stopped the shipment halfway between when they caught it was nitro fuel, and they sent it back, so I can't even get nitro fuel. Plus it's a lot more tedious running it on nitro. Here it's easy, charge up the 3S lipo, toss it in, and away I go. So okay, thanks a lot guys. Please subscribe, and I'll keep having more videos. This one's my smallest boat for in the creek in the back. It's still 2 sticks, 2 motors, but I run that on a little tiny 1S lipo battery, and it actually moves out pretty good. So thanks a lot guys.